Shavua Tov and good morning. Of course, Purim being this week, continuing the theme of Purim which we've been discussing. And one of the questions for this year is with regards to the mitzvah of the Mishteh of Purim, the festive meal which we have on Purim, particularly this year that it's fallen on a Friday. What's the best way for a person to conduct themselves with regards to this on Friday this year? So, the obligation of having a mishteh, that's what the Megillah calls it, Yemei Mishteh V'Simcha, the day of festivity and joy, is a mitzvah from the Nevi'im. It's equal to the other mitzvot of Purim, such as the reading of the Megillah and Mishloach Manot, Matanot Evyonim. And this, the Gemara tells us, has to be done during the day of Purim. Because it says Yemei Mishteh V'Simcha, days, so the day of joy and fest and having a feast, and therefore the Gemara, the Rambam, and the Shulchan Aruch tell us that a person who had a Seuda, who had the festive meal of Purim on the night of Purim, has not fulfilled the mitzvah, and one needs to have the Seuda during the day of Purim. Having said that, there were some of the Rishonim who wrote that just like we found the Hachamim instituted a reading of the Megillah at night, because really the main mitzvah for Mordechai and Esther and the Nevi'im of reading the Megillah is only once during the day of Purim. However, Midrabanan, the Hachamim instituted that we read it in the night as well. And therefore some of the Rishonim, the Avi Ezri, understood that there is a mitzvah as well on a lower level to do a Seuda at night. Although if one does only a Seuda at night, one has not fulfilled the mitzvah because the Seuda has to be done during the day. However, there still is a mitzvah to have a Seuda at night. And indeed, this is not codified in the Rambam or the Shulchan Aruch, but the Ramah does bring this, that there is a mitzvah to have a Seuda at night, akin to the concept of reading the Megillah at night in preparation for the Megillah at day. And so, although one needs to do the Seuda during the day of Purim, there is a mitzvah to do it during the night as well before. Now, again, this is not strictly halachically required, but the Rishonim also write that the Megillah tells us Yemei Mishteh V'Simcha, days of Mishteh, of festivity and joy. Now, the simple understanding of this is days, the plural, is because there are different days to do this, i.e., outside walled cities, outside Yerushalayim, it's on the 14th, and in Yerushalayim, it's on the 15th, hence the plural Yemei. However, some of the Rishonim saw in this an indication that there is a mitzvah for each place to celebrate both days on the second day in a less significant way, but still to mark it with a meal and a festivity. And so this is why there is a concept that although outside of Yerushalayim we celebrate Purim on the 14th, there still is a mitzvah to mark Shushan Purim, Purim in Yerushalayim on the 15th with a Seuda. And likewise, in Yerushalayim, although the main mitzvah is on the 15th, there is also a mitzvah on the 14th to have a Seuda as well. And this, again, is codified in the Ramah. Again, not strictly required, it's not in the Rambam or the Shulchan Aruch, but it is a nice minhag and a mitzvah, this idea of commemorating the other day as well to show our unity with other parts of Am Yisrael. Now, we find unique with Purim, it's this concept that mitzvah laharbot besudat Purim is to have a big festive, it's called a mishteh. And which is why the Rambam writes actually that this should actually in the first instance be done with basar, with meat. And wine, of course, it's something else, but certainly with a proper, not just to have a bit of food and bread, but actually to have meat and a full festive meal. In the first instance, this is done with bread. This is not actually written explicitly in the Shulchan Aruch, but most understand that the concept of a mishteh, of a seuda, normally comes together with bread, and this is the opinion of the majority of the poskim. However, it's important to recognize that not all agreed with this. Famously, the Magen Avraham from 400 years ago wrote that there's no need on Purim to have a bread. The whole idea of having bread on a Shabbat and Yom Tov stems not from the din of Simcha, but stems from the din of Kavod for these days, of the grandeur and honor of the days of Shabbat and Yom Tov. This is why we wash and have bread on Purim, there isn't a din of kavod, there is a din of simcha. Bread does not go together with simcha, bread goes together with kavod, and therefore he held that there is no need to actually wash, and therefore those who struggle with eating bread, then there is what to rely on to have the Seuda without bread, but to have a big festive meal. And therefore, to summarize what we've said, the main mitzvah of Purim has to be done during the day of the Seuda, although there is a mitzvah at night. There is a concept to mark the other day, and therefore this year, because the Seuda of Purim will be on Sunday in Yerushalayim, there is a mitzvah for us outside of Yerushalayim to mark Sunday with some kind of festivity. And the Seuda in the first instance should be with basar, with meat and chicken and food, which is brings simcha to people. If that doesn't bring simcha, then whatever brings simcha to a person. And in the first instance with bread, although it doesn't, those who struggle with the bread, one can still fulfill the mitzvah of the Seuda of Purim without bread. Tomorrow we'll talk about the timing of the Seuda, particularly this year.